Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Take a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, guys. If we take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly, I know it doesn't feel like a lot has been happening, and I mean, you can see that in the weekly chart. We have had now 3 straight weeks where we haven't really seen, and this is the third week, we're currently in the third week, where there really hasn't been too much in terms of movement in relation to Bitcoin price. The market has been fairly flat as of late. Even down here, you guys can see not too much volume on the Bitcoin chart. So we haven't really seen too much in terms of buying and selling pressure. We haven't really seen the battle of the buyers and the sellers. Let's take a look at the XRP price chart. And the XRP price chart, kind of similar. Again, not too much movement. We're holding above support. It feels like I've come on this channel and said that numerous times. Look at this. Volume is actually trending downward too for XRP. So you can see volume bars not as exciting as it was, of course, back in November, December 2024. We've seen some ups and downs, but generally speaking, the volume trend has been moving downward. So not a lot of people purchasing up XRP, guys. I think this is going to change when we do see the market ramp up. We are sitting in neutral territory, just under the midpoint at 48. We got the market cap that is up by only about 0.5%. CMC 100, that is up by almost 1 percentage point. Altcoin season still in the 20s. So more of the same, guys. Even though we are seeing green on the chart, we're not seeing much of it. And, again, it's just another one of those days that, we're just kind of waiting through before we see some real exciting activity. When is this exciting activity going to occur? Well, in today's video, we're going to try to analyze what's going on in, general markets, the U.S. economy, and we're going to try to best guess where we could see the market go, hopefully sooner rather than later, before the end of 2025. I'm fairly confident. First, though, we've got some great news with regards to the Canadian Stock Exchange now trading the 3IQ XRP ETF. Regulatory clarity drives innovation. This coming from Paul Grewal of Coinbase. Canada had the world's first Bitcoin ETF in 2021. Now it beat the US with an XRP ETF. So Canada already trading that XRP ETF. It's way past time for the US to catch up and get the crypto market structure legislation done. So this was the press release from 3IQ. They did just launch this yesterday. The first of its kind here. They're saying the first of its kind access to XRP in North America. So a landmark rollout further reinforces 3IQ's track record as a trusted innovator in delivering regulated first-to-market digital asset investment solutions. And Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, is an early investor in the fund. So even Ripple is invested in this fund, and they did just launch this yesterday. The ticker symbol is XRPQ. Here they say it is the first exchange-traded fund in North America to provide investors with exposure to XRP, the third largest digital asset by market capitalization. Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, is an early investor in the fund. 3IQ's new ETF enables investors to gain long-term exposure to XRP in a transparent and cost-effective way. So this is getting Canadian investors, well, American investors too, I guess, if they want to trade on the TSX, pretty much everybody. It's giving them exposure to XRP from an institutional standpoint. Now, you do not have to actually purchase physical XRP to get exposure to XRP. And, this is exactly what, those old stodgy investors want. They just want the exposure. They want to be able to make money. They don't want to have, that learning curve, learning how to get into crypto and all that. They just tell their advisor, look, get me into cryptocurrencies. And I'm sure in a lot of cases, they're just as general as that. And their advisor will be like, okay, great. Now it's not just Bitcoin. We can get them some exposure to XRP as well. So as this press release does say here, XRP has demonstrated significant growth potential over the past decade. And this groundbreaking strategy offers Canadians and qualified global investors a transparent, low cost, and tax efficient way to securely access that opportunity. First XRP ETF, guys, in North America. First of its kind, now getting institutional investors exposure to XRP. Coinbase is also entering the fold as a global commerce space with the launch of Coinbase Payments. This courtesy of Michael Branch here. So this is what Coinbase is doing now. They see a major step towards bringing stablecoin-powered payments into mainstream global commerce. With more than half of Fortune 500 firms building on-chain and 1/3 of small businesses already using crypto, demand is high. But until now, infrastructure limitations have kept stablecoin adoption fragmented. And so Coinbase Payments offers a plug-and-play solution that lowers barriers and enables payment providers and marketplaces to go live with stablecoin payments quickly and securely. As stablecoins evolve into the backbone of the next generation commerce, Coinbase is positioning itself to be the go-to gateway, offering stablecoin usability with the simplicity and reliability that modern platforms demand. So that is pretty much all we have here. Full stack stablecoin payment platform, now integrated too, looks like with Shopify. So we're getting some more use cases for cryptocurrency, some more real world use cases. And, eventually we're going to see this scale up. But for now, small steps, baby steps. Lian Global is also expanding Middle Eastern operations via Dubai. So Ripple getting their foot in the door in the Asia Pacific region. Hong Kong-based Lian Global is witnessing substantial growth in the Middle Eastern operations, with expectations that Dubai will contribute 10% of its payment transaction volumes within the first year. So really relying on Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, I guess Dubai specifically, to contribute to scaling Lian up. According to Michelle Fung, the general manager of Lian, the company aims to leverage Dubai as a strategic gateway to expand into the African market. So that's interesting. Lian Global, the international arm of Hong Kong-listed Lian Digitech, has effectively tapped into the payment processing needs of SMEs in the Gulf Corporation Council region. These businesses often face challenges in settling payments with Chinese suppliers due to limited access to traditional banking systems. And so they saw a problem there, and they are filling the void by providing a seamless payment network that connects approximately 6 million Chinese suppliers. Lian Global has become a crucial player in facilitating cross-border transactions. With many businesses in the GCC being unbanked, Lian Global Services offer a vital alternative to the SWIFT financial messaging system, which is inaccessible to some SMEs. So they're realizing, again, guys, the legacy banking system, we got to remember, it's been around since the 70s. SWIFT technology is like 50 plus years old now. And the modernization curve is something that a lot of the many people who have been in this space for a long time are still realizing, okay, this is real, and this is happening, and this is changing, and it's changing before our eyes. Even if you're a youngin and you've been in the workforce for 20 years, you've been used to using SWIFT for payments. And now everything is changing, so much so that products are being launched backing crypto assets like XRP, and the institutional guys are clamoring to get in. Think of it this way. We are very, very early, still very early, even though it feels like we've been in this space forever. Riz posting this. Understand it, guys. Here's a clip from The Modern Investor that I wanted to share with you guys today. Listen to this.
Understand where you are and what you've been given. Understand that you are still incredibly early into this market because we don't yet have a $100 XRP. We don't yet have a $2 million Bitcoin. Yeah, right. Once again, it wasn't to make you scared or FOMO. It's just like, understand, like if you get a chance, research an asset that you really like or something that sticks out to you. I don't care what it is. And look at the price trajectory of it over the course of a 10, 15, 20 years. It can be sports cards, Pokemon, it can be homes, it can be whatever comes to your mind. The point is just to buy assets and hold on to them. And I'll finish this all off by saying we are at the doorway right now of being able to stake XRP and Bitcoin. You literally are not only going to watch the value of those coins rise, you are going to be able to get passive income from doing nothing. You will get free money from staking as you watch yourself get richer. There's a reason why all the rich people are buying these coins.
So that kind of exemplifies my point perfectly here. The rich people are getting into these coins for that exact reason, because we are at the doorstep. We are at the precipice of something very, very big. So, we're going to be able to stake our XRP in a more meaningful capacity. I think part of it, too, is the integration of ISO 20022. King Val X here posting this. Fed Reserve going live with ISO 20022, new standard, July the 14th. This is now officially fully confirmed. So the Federal Reserve Financial Services did just put this out, confirm implementation of ISO 20022 message format on July the 14th for FedWire funds. Now, remember, guys, FedWire does run Volente and does run Finastra. So those are two Ripple-enabled companies, Ripple-backed technology that is running FedWire. So mark that on the calendar as well, July the 14th. Again, are we going to see a big boom, a big explosion? No, this still has to scale up, okay? We're still in the phase where we're integrating it slowly. Like, it's the first step, right? The first step to integration. So Are we going to see that flip the switch moment as soon as it is integrated into Fedwire? Probably not. Just because that's just one of many different organizations that is doing this. And, the rest of the world does have to get on board too. The trillions of dollars that's going to come into the space, that is going to have to rely on a collective effort. So although this is good news, it's not the only news. It's just a small portion of XRP utility. But nevertheless, it is great to hear. Wanted to thank King Val X for that. Of course, wanted to thank Riz, the Modern Investor, obviously, Michael Branch, and Paul Gruwal just for posting that. Guys, I also saw this from the Paul Barron Network, and I wanted to address this because a lot of people are asking me, when are we going to see the next pump to the upside? For more information, though, more detailed info on when I think it's going to happen, you guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Just put out an update yesterday for my Patreon subscribers. A recap, 6 parts posted of an 8-part cash out strategy. I was putting those out over the last 6 months or so you guys can see the 6 posts there. There's a couple more coming up. So patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you're interested. But without further ado, I'm going to play you guys this clip. Listen to this.
Global central banks are cutting rates, though. That is a big deal. What we're seeing right now with world central banks, interest rate cuts 15 times in May, fastest month pace of the year. You look at this right here. This is a chart of the central banks cut at fastest pace in 2025. You can see the acceleration, 15 cuts. That's pretty big, when you look at what the rest of the world is trying to do, and not necessarily in a good position, I think, in many cases to do it. One thing to note on this chart is it goes back to some of the key points in history. December of 2008, we understand the financial crisis. This came out of the savings and loan debacle. A lot of that led up through a run in 2007. I know a lot of the triggers were there, much like what we're seeing even right now. And obviously we know what happened in March of 2020. And then you look at September of last year, and then we rallied. And then, of course, that was, again, a cut in September of last year. And now, could we get another cut in the fall of this year and see a rally? If we do, the rally could either spark something much longer, or it could get you in a position where you might want to take a look at where your market position is long term. Meaning, do you start feathering out of the market? That's a real question I think a lot of people are trying to time, and it's very difficult to do so, but it could be the thing to watch for sure.
And that is going to depend on rate cuts. So here we have Donald Trump calling out Jerome Powell, calling him a real dummy, actually. So U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell again, calling him the worst and a real dummy who is costing America billions of dollars. This comes after the Fed's latest decision to leave interest rates unchanged. In a post on Truth Social on Thursday, Trump posted a link to an article titled Fannie Freddie Regulator. Powell should cut rates or quit, which reported that the regulator overseeing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac urged Powell to step down if he continues to resist cutting interest rates. This came after the Fed opted to leave short-term rates unchanged again on Wednesday. So, guys, Paul Barron was mentioning it too. The rates have to be cut. This is what is going to allow Americans and, most of the world too, because a lot of central banks do follow the U.S., but it's what's going to allow people to borrow cheap money. And this ultimately is what's going to get people more confident, if they can borrow cheap money, more confident to invest in risk-on assets like the crypto space. And this essentially is what gets markets up. Now, let me just bring up the total market cap here. So this is all of cryptocurrency. Actually, before we go into that, I have a couple more clips here. Donald Trump commenting, just 9 seconds. Listen to this.
Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
He is too late, Powell. Our crypto talk also commenting 97.5% of people expected it. The Fed keeps interest rates unchanged, but Jerome Powell just gave us a hint. Altcoins liquidity, bull run timing. So when is he going to raise rates? Okay, this is really what we're interested in, right? As Paul Barron did mention, here I'm going to throw this back on the weekly. When we did see those rate cuts back during the beer flu in March of 2020, the total crypto market did rise about 2,600%. I do believe he also mentioned September 2024, and that was in and around here. And even at that point, we did see a rally of about 100% for the entire crypto space. Let's go back to the S&P 500 for a second, and we'll go back to December 2008. He gave us another example back in December 2008. You guys can see that back in here. So that would be roughly somewhere in and around here. But at that point, guys, we did see, I mean, it was a rally for over a decade, but the market did go up. The S&P specifically, 633% since those interest rate cuts during one of the worst financial disasters in U.S. history. So they're just keeping interest rates the status quo. That's the fourth pause in a row. And it was expected. Only 4 of 19 Fed officials expected any rate cuts in June. So why no cuts yet? Inflation is above the Fed's current target. Gives you guys some statistics there. They're not turning the money printer back on yet. Yes, the economy is improving and jobs are steady and growth isn't collapsing. The Fed is still worried, though. Tariffs from Trump, global tensions, sticky service inflation, rate cuts delayed for now, but they will come for sure and follow China and Europe. So this is what we're seeing for China. China's already cut rates. Europe has already cut rates. The United States still waiting in the wings to cut rates. So what does it mean for crypto, though? It means we're entering an extended accumulation phase, not a blow off top, not a crash, just a quiet period where smart money accumulates while everyone else snoozes. So guys, this is the total 2 altcoin market cap, all cryptocurrencies excluding Bitcoin. And I will link all these tweets in the description of the video if you guys want to go through them in more detail. Risk on assets like altcoins won't go vertical without more liquidity, and liquidity equals cheap capital, rate cuts, or QE. Until then, altcoins will move on their fundamentals. So what they're suggesting here is that the altcoin market, whether it is XRP or whether it is, any altcoin for that matter, at this point, we're still waiting for real-world utility. These altcoins will move based on that real-world utility. Until then, guys, and we're obviously still in a speculative market because none of these altcoins are moving despite the news that's coming out, the positive news that's coming out surrounding them. So to reiterate, altcoins will move on their fundamentals. Bitcoin institutional adoption, Bitcoin dominance needs to drop for big moves. Bitcoin is still holding above $100,000. So that is another reason why we're not seeing the altcoins really kind of pop. So what's next? It's not until the Fed pivots. Essentially, guys, the Fed needs to pivot, and even Judy Shelton thought this was interesting. This article from Reuters, early Fed chair nomination could rattle markets. Jerome Powell, I read this, Jerome Powell is set to end his term on May the 26th, but could an early replacement change the dynamics here? That's all a very, very good question. Even Polymarket, when you just look up, I did a search for Powell. Fed decision in July, if you click on this, it shows that, there's a very, very slim chance that we will have any kind of interest rate cut in July. No changes at 93%. But if you look at September, let's just take a look at September here. We've got it at about 50-50, a 25 basis point decrease at 47%, or no change at 48%. Anything above 25 basis points, only at 1%. Now, these odds could change, but guys, it's looking like a 50-50 shot. And so that is September. That is, essentially what we're eyeing here for all crypto assets to move up higher in price based on the speculative market. And that is actually quite in line with the 4-year theory. So are we going to see the market start moving by September? Are we going to see new highs for cryptocurrencies like XRP? Let's not forget, guys, when we did see that last blow off top for XRP, market was up from the time XRP really started moving, market was up about 850%. Let's bring up the XRP chart one more time here and show you guys that XRP did rally at that particular time. It rallied about, so let's call it about 700%. If we do see those cuts, XRP rallying another 700%, that would mean that we would see one XRP going for about, what's the price there? About $17.60 per coin. So Powell, we're waiting for you. Are we going to see this happen in September? I certainly hope so, but that's just my opinion. And for more opinions on where I think this market's going to go, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. The Working Money Channel merch store is also up and running. We got to send this thing, guys. Got to send it to the moon. The Send It Astronaut XRP men's t-shirt available here. Comes in women's and long sleeve as well. Link is in the description of the video, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.